welcome back to my channel. I hope that you had a really great holiday season with family and friends. This is a time that I try to intentionally rest a little bit after a very busy holiday season and also reflect on my year past so that I can prepare for the upcoming year. And I try not to put a lot of pressure on myself because I think it's really easy for us to get to this time of year and think, okay, we've got a new year ahead. I've got to get everything ready. I've got to be ready to go January 1st, right when I wake up, right when my alarm goes off, to just be the new version of myself that I picture in my mind, the 2025 version of me. And you know what? You don't have to have it all together today. You don't have to have it all together on the 1st. I promise. It's going to be okay. You don't have to put that pressure on yourself. I think what happens is this, or at least this is my process. I start to think about the new year and all the possibilities and all the goals and all the things that I want to do. And it's a positive thing, right? Because we think about all the potential that we have laid before us in a brand new year. But I think it can easily become a stressful thing if we aren't careful, because oftentimes in that planning and in that process of trying to figure things out for a new year, it can become really, really overwhelming. And I think that's why in the past few years, I don't know if you've noticed on here and on social media, there's been a shift away from resolution setting. Like, people aren't calling it resolutions anymore. They're calling it goals or intentions, which is what I like to do. I like to set intentions for myself, goals and habits that I can implement in the new year or carry through from this year that I implemented prior that are working for me. I think the reason we've gotten away from calling it a resolution is because there is this almost pressure that comes along with a resolution that I think we just expect it to be almost an impossible task, you know? It's like we set a goal to lose weight or get fit in the new year, and we start out really, really strong in January and we go to the gym, and then by February we go a couple of times, and then by March, okay, maybe once, and then April's here and we're not going to the gym anymore. And then May rolls around and we think, well, darn, I've already ruined my resolution. It's the way we set ourselves up that actually fail. It's not the actual goal or ideal that we have for ourselves. There is a great book by this guy named James Clear. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's a very popular book, but if you haven't, it's called Atomic Habits. It is one of my favorite books about habit forming because it is one of the only books that has ever worked and resonated with me. I actually have a physical copy of the book and I have it on Audible, and I have listened to that book on Audible probably hands down more than any other kind of self-development productivity book that I have. I think I've listened to it like at least 10 times. But he has this saying in there, and I hope I don't butcher it. This is probably not verbatim. We do not rise to the level of our goals, but we fall to the level of our systems. I think that's what it is. It may be habits. Systems are habits, but it's kind of the same thing. I'll look it up and I'll put it on the screen. But essentially, that is why I try to not focus so much on resolutions. I focus more on goals and habits that will get me to that goal, just depending on what the goal is. A goal is something I want to achieve, something very specific, like reading 12 books in 2025, or learning something new each month. That's on my list, and that's a goal. Or getting up and getting fresh air every single day. That's a goal. But behind those goals are always a series of small habits that if you do those things, those habits every single day tend to lead to the success of a goal. And behind those habits have to be intention, right? We need to be intentional about what we do and the habits we choose so that we are doing the things that lead us to our ultimate goals. So they all work together, but they're all just equally as important, because if you don't have intention behind your habits probably won't stick. And if you don't have actionable, doable daily habits, then your goals probably won't be met. Another thing I notice people do now more than ever, and in opposed to resolution setting, is vision boards. I think a vision board is an incredible resource of inspiration and motivation. I personally use Pinterest. What I do is, after I set my goals for the year, I will just get on my Pinterest, make a Pinterest board. The new one will be 2025 goals and intentions, and it'll be private so people won't see it. You can make it private. I'm a kind of a private person, so mine will be private. And then under that, I'll just have categories. It'll be health and fitness, family, seasonal living, because I really like to do seasons and holidays and traditions. I like to set goals around that, goals around my pets, and all of those things. And I will put photos that inspire me in those boards, in that board under those categories. And that's what I'll try to look at daily. That's my version of a vision board. When it comes to goals and habits for the new year, I'm keeping it really simple. I'm going with 25 habits, goals, and intentions for 2025, and I'm going to share them here with you today. I'm actually doing something that I saw on TikTok. I saw it all over TikTok, and I thought, you know what? I have got to do this year. It looks like so much fun, and it is right up my alley, and that is a 2025 bingo card, which you can see I have set up here behind me. I did mine on my board. To create my 2025 goal bingo card, I started with some simple supplies that I just had on hand. I used note cards cut in half and printed out all 25 of my goals onto sticker paper. Once printed, I just cut those to size. If you don't have these exact supplies, don't worry. You can actually use just 8.5 by 11 cardstock, cut it into squares, and simplify this process even more. Once everything was cut out, I attached each goal to my bulletin board using push pin clips that I already had lying around as well. I arranged them into a large bingo card format, and I plan to just use some really cute and fun stickers to mark off each goal as I accomplish it. I may even use some small post-its to mark them off on a weekly or a monthly basis just to track my progress. I just think this is a really easy and fun way to stay motivated and keep track of your progress throughout the year. A bingo card actually has 25 spaces, 24 plus the freebie in the middle, but I'm not giving myself a freebie. I'm doing 25 in 2025. I actually created one on Canva as well that I'm going to make a free digital download. I'll put it on my blog. That way you can have a resource to it. It won't be this. It'll just be on an 8.5 by 11 typical size paper. So I have my bingo card, just everything randomly placed. I kind of just did my thing. I didn't particularly place anything in a specific order. And I'm going to share all of the things that I have on my bingo card for 2025 with you. The first thing on my bingo card is spend a day each month reviewing and resetting my goals. Just like we're doing today, going over setting these goals, I think it's really, really important to check in with ourselves every single month and make sure that we're making progress or just seeing where we can improve, where we're on the right track, things like that. I did this intentionally in 2024 as well, and it really helped me stay on task with my goals. This doesn't have to be daunting. I usually just set like 15 minutes out of my day on the last day of the month, every month last year, and checked in with my goals to see where I was at, see if I was on the right track, and it helped me immensely. I know that if I hold myself accountable by checking in once a month, I am much more likely to achieve the other goals on my list. Next, I want to declutter and organize at least one space in my house every single month. I think this is a good goal to have because at the end of the year, if we just do one space, even if it's just a drawer or a closet or a cabinet or a whole room, whatever it may be, by the end of the year, I am going to have 12 spaces in my home that needed some love, needed some TLC, organized, decluttered, and refreshed. And that's gonna be a pretty good feeling. Next goal that I have for myself that I feel like is really important, it's something that I did in 2024 and I want to carry it through with me in 2025, is intentionally learn something new every single month. Learning in the new year, I think, is really, really important and essential. I'm going to put it on my calendar with intention to do once a month. The way that I find works for me the most in terms of learning is through online courses, which brings me to today's video sponsor, which is the largest learning community on the internet, which is Skillshare. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and allowing me to share a platform that I already use and love here with all of you. Skillshare is a platform for creatives by creatives. There are so many topics of interest on Skillshare that range from illustration, graphic design, photography, to music, marketing, productivity. You name it, it is probably on Skillshare. They have thousands of creative classes in countless categories ranging from beginner to advanced. So whether you are just learning a new skill or you want to hone a skill that you already have, maybe turn it into a business, you can do that right on Skillshare, which I love. I'm sure you know because you're watching my YouTube channel, but one passion that I have is video filmmaking and editing, and you can learn all of that on Skillshare. They have a really great platform for creatives. Also Canva. If you've been on my channel before and in this video, you know that I am a lover of Canva. I use Canva for a ton of different things. They have Canva classes on there for every skill level on Canva. You can learn so many things about Canva. It is the easiest way. Each class is taught by an expert instructor, and you get essentially step by step on how to do things, and you can go at your own pace, which I think is great. So if you're interested in learning about Canva, Skillshare is absolutely the best place, hands down, to do it. One reason that I use the Skillshare platform is because it's not just one of those platforms where you watch and then you just kind of take some notes and then you're on your own. You actually learn by doing on Skillshare. You can submit projects in these classes. So it's a really great platform that actually builds community. I learn so much more and so much better by doing on my own. I love watching instruction, but at the same time, I want to get my hands on it. I want to practice and do the thing that I'm learning to do, and Skillshare helps you do that, and I think that's really, really cool. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so be sure to check it out. I hope you love it as much as I do, and I hope that it helps you on your journey to reaching your goals in the new year. You'll have to come let me know what you think. I also have a QR code on the screen. You can just use that and it'll take you right to Skillshare as well. But thank you again to them for sponsoring this video. Number 4 on my list is to volunteer or donate within my community each month. This is something that I shared recently in my last video. I shared my giving day with you, and it is always on my heart to donate and help in my community when I can. I don't want to miss those opportunities in 2025. I really want to focus in and be more intentional about my time and giving back. So hopefully I can do that. Number 5 will probably not surprise any of you, but number 5 is celebrate the seasons and personal traditions with intention every single month. I have it on my calendar, and I think it's just a really fun, lighthearted goal, but it's also something that I've put on my calendar since I was a kid because I just love seasonal living. I love every holiday. I love every season. I love every celebration. It's really fun. And so it's on the list. Number 6 is to explore a new local place each month. This is something I've actually been trying to do for the past several years since I moved to the Texas Hill Country. There are so many beautiful places here. Number 7 is to dedicate 1 day a week to self-care. Now, I've had this on my list for many, many years, but I found that if I don't actually put it on my weekly schedule, I skip it. This is a day where I just take a little bit of extra time to take care of myself. I do some extra skincare, or maybe I schedule a massage, or I just try to do one thing with intention that week on one particular day to really just love myself, check in, and make sure that I'm caring for myself as much as I care for my loved ones or my family, my friends, my job, all those things that we as women get preoccupied with. I know that as women, we are just hardwired to be of service to others in our lives, and I love that. I find a lot of joy and happiness in taking care of my family, taking care of my friends, taking care of my pups, and I think it's really important to remember to take care of me. So I always try to carve out at least 1 day a week where I do one thing for myself out of self-care. Number 8 on my list is strength training weekly. I am not a workout girly. I am not a fitness girly. I wish that I was. I enjoy things like yoga. I enjoy walking. I enjoy hiking. I enjoy things like that, but I'm not a big gym person. I actually hate going to the gym. I'm just going to admit it. I'm just going to say it. I don't like it, but strength training is really, really important, especially the older we get. And it is something that I will skip if I don't put it on my calendar. So I am committing myself to at least 1 day a week of strength training. It doesn't have to be hardcore. It just has to be strength training. And so it's on the list to keep me accountable. Number 9 on the list is to keep a more balanced weekly schedule. When I was thinking back over my year 2024 and looking at my schedule, how I managed my time, I felt like I really tried to burn the candle at both ends during 2024. I just want to have a better balance. So I put it on my goals list this year to balance my weekly schedule. It'll be up here on the board behind me, reminding me every time I look at it that I need to remember to balance. Number 10 is really important for me, and it was probably important for you if you work from home, and that is to declutter my workspace once a week. I did not have this on my goals list last year, and I can tell you that right now, what you're not seeing at my feet, I have a bunch of stuff that I just took off my desk and set down because it has piled up over the holiday season and I need to deal with it. And I feel like I have not been as diligent this year at keeping my desk and my office as organized and clutter-free as I could have, especially working from home. I just have more and more things kind of piling up in this space. I want to be really intentional. My workspace is really important, so I put it on my goals list to declutter it once a week so that I can stay on task and keep a little bit of my sanity while I'm in here working. Number 11 is something that I contemplated putting on the list, maybe not putting on the list because it's already a habit that I have, but I thought, you know what? We all need those wins. We all need those things to check off that we're already doing, that we're proud of, but that we need to continue doing because they're so important. And that is to make the bed every single day. There are very few days that I miss making my bed because it's just a habit for me now. It has been for many, many years. But I can tell you it is such an important habit because when you are busy, as you know, we're all busy, having that clean bed and that clean bedroom to come into and unwind at the end of the day can make all the difference. I feel like I sleep better at night when I've made my bed in the morning. The next one is to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night. I am pretty good about getting an adequate amount of sleep. However, I don't feel like as of late I've been sleeping through the night as well. So I really want to practice good sleep hygiene. I hope I can do it. Number 13 is to practice gratitude every single day. I think that's something that we hear all of the time. And hopefully it's something that we all practice. I try my best to practice it. I like to think I'm a very grateful person. I like to think that I practice some type of gratitude every single day in my life. However, I want to be even more intentional about it. I want to practice gratitude in the morning and in the evening with intention. I want to take a moment and sit in that gratitude every single day. So I put it on the list. Next is drink a glass of water first thing in the morning. I'm going to be very honest with you right now. I drink coffee first thing in the morning. I need to be better about drinking water first. I wish I was. I could come on here and tell you, oh yeah, I drink my water first thing every morning. I don't. I want to. I want to be the girl that gets up and chugs a glass of water every morning before they drink their coffee or have their breakfast. Coffee is what keeps me going. Coffee is what gets me out of bed in the morning. That and the dogs, they need to go potty and be fed, so they get me out of bed. But coffee is what helps me do those things. I want to be more intentional about drinking my water every single morning first thing because I do think it is a very, very small habit that has a very, very huge impact on our health. Next is always take my daily vitamins and supplements. That is something, again, that I already do and have been doing for many years. I take that very seriously, especially the older I get. And since they are so important, I keep them on the list even though I already do it. It's going on the list. 16 is another thing that I had on my list for 2024 and 2023. I've actually had it on my list for many years, but it is an AM and PM quick tidy, meaning I get up in the morning and I have a list of a few things I do to tidy up the house to start my day. And then when I end my day, I close out the day by doing another quick clean, quick tidy. I've noticed that when I don't do this each day, things tend to get away from me. And if I don't keep it on my list or in my planner, I can forget if I get too busy. The best way to do this and start this goal, if this is something you want to implement in the new year and you're thinking, okay, but I'm busy, that's great, I'll probably do it for a week or two and then I'll forget, is to just set a timer in your phone. That's what I have. I have a timer in my phone in the morning and a timer in my phone in the evening. It is set for 15 minutes and it goes off and I just do my quick clean. I empty the dishwasher. I vacuum if I need to vacuum, things like that. That is something I'm keeping on the list. I think it's really important and I think it's a great goal to have. You set yourself up for success when you have a clean and tidy space. Number 17 is read for 20 minutes every single day. I didn't share my goals here last year, but last year I had it on my goals list to read for 1 hour every single day, 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes at night. And I found that I kept up with that for a few months in 2024. But as the year progressed and I became progressively more busy, I let that reading fall off. So I think 20 minutes is much more realistic for me and more doable. And when I say read, I mean physically read. I really love a good book, like to actually hold the paper in my hands. I don't know. I like reading from a book as opposed to an Audible or a Kindle or something like that. I listen to Audible books all day long, Audibles and podcasts, but I want to actually just wind down and intentionally read for 20 minutes a day. Next is fresh air every single day. I think it is so important for us to just take a moment and step outside when we can. It's pretty easy with dogs. It's pretty easy to get that fresh air because I have to go outside every day with them anyway, but I think it's a nice thing to add to the list. Next is take a daily walk. Again, with the dogs, this is pretty easy, but I have little dogs, so I don't go very far. I really want to start taking a more intentional, calming, either morning or evening walk, just depending on the day. I have a treadmill in the garage. Even just getting on the treadmill for like 30 minutes a day and clearing my mind and walking, I think would be a really, really good thing for me to do. And I don't do it all the time. I do it, but I don't do it every single day. So in the new year, I am going to try to make it a goal to do that at least once a day. Another thing that I love, so I put it on my list, is daily journaling, planning, and habit tracking. So it's one thing to set all of these habits, goals, and intentions. It's a completely whole other thing to actually follow through. The best way to keep up with these goals, habits, and intentions is by tracking them in my planner. I'm sharing my planner here with you today. This is the planner that will be available very soon on my website, Paper Hart Planner. This has been in the works for a long time. I know a lot of you have been asking. I get a DM just about every single day asking about my planner, especially because it's the new year. We are still in the works. I'm hoping to have at least some of the planner pages available for you very, very soon, and I will let you know when that is, but I am going to give you a little peek at it today. If you want to be the first to know about the planner launch and all the things, be sure to be subscribed to the email list. I will leave it in the description box below. You can click the link on the website, fill in your email there, and you will be the first to know when we officially open the website. Next on the list, I have daily stretching or yoga. Yoga is actually something that I really enjoy. I've kind of gotten away from it in the past year, but I really want to get intentional about it again and start going to a yoga class maybe once a week. And then I just think it's really important to stretch every single day. Just want to wake up, stretch a little bit in the morning, stretch a little bit before I go to bed. Number 22 is something that I will admit I put on my list last year, my goals list, and I didn't meet the goal. And it is to have screen-free time. I want to turn off the phone, close down social media, turn off the TV, and just read or relax or do something that does not involve blue light or screens. There's been a lot of studies in the past few years that show blue light really does affect our sleep. I want to be more intentional. Again, I had it on my goals list last year and I fell short. So we're gonna try again. It's a new year. I'm giving it another go. Hopefully this will be the year I stick to it. 23 on the list is support more small businesses by shopping locally. It is so easy for us to get caught up in the ease of shopping online at Amazon or Walmart or these big box stores, but I want to be more intentional about how I spend my money and who I support this year, and I really want it to be my local community. I love this community. There has not been a time that I've stepped out in my local community and not just enjoyed every single small business or small business owner that I've met. There are so many passionate, talented, wonderful people in my community. I just really want to be more intentional about my support to them. So number 24 is to be more intentional when saying yes or no to protect my personal peace, time, and energy. I am the type of person that I find joy in a lot of things. It's really easy for people to ask something of me. I get excited and I say yes. And then I fight overwhelm because I've said yes to too many things. And I feel like that was a big lesson for me in 2024. I'm sure you've heard what I'm about to say to you because it is a phrase that is common and goes around. But my grandfather used to always say to me, under promise and over deliver. When we overcommit ourselves to the yeses, if we say yes to too many things, we can never over deliver. And so that's something that I felt like I was learning this year, how to balance my time. I can look back on moments that I came very, very close to burnout, maybe had some times throughout the year that I sacrificed my own personal care or personal time because I overcommitted myself to other things. And so I just want to be really intentional about how I move through the new year and how I say yes and how I say no and just the things I commit to. We only have so much time in our day and we only have so many resources that we can give. We can only be so much of a resource to someone, and you can't pour from an empty cup. Last but not least on my list of goals for 2025 is to live with intention every single day. That probably sounds vague. Oftentimes it's easy when you have a busy schedule, when you have a lot of things going on, when your to-do list is packed, to just go through the motions, move through the list, check those things off, let your head hit the pillow at night, wake up in the morning, do it all again. And then one day you wake up and you're moving like a machine. The days are a blur. You don't remember what happened Tuesday. Like, what day is it? You know what I'm saying? So living with intention as a goal is the best way to round out the list. I think it's one of the most important things. So anyway, that is it for my bingo card, 25 goals, habits, and intentions for 2025. I would absolutely love to know what your goals, your intentions, and the habits you plan to set for yourself are in the new year. If you want to share them with me, please do in the comments below. And I hope that you have a very wonderful, happy, and healthy 2025.